Welcome back to Practical AutoCAD and Inventor. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a dynamic block with a linear parameter and a stretch action. Let's get started. When you're creating a dynamic block, the first thing that you want to do is to create your geometry full size in model space. So what I have here is the plan view of a park bench that I'm going to be able to stretch to make a little bit longer just in case, I want to have a different size bench. I've got my geometry here, and you'll notice that it's just plain geometry, some rectangles, some polylines, and so on. I haven't added a lot of detail, and I suggest when you create your dynamic blocks that you don't add a lot of detail like hatches and those kinds of things, because they don't always behave the way you want them to when you get into that dynamic situation. Once you have your geometry created, you're going to simply create a block. So I'm on the Insert tab up here at the top. I'm going to go to the Block Definition panel and choose the Create Block tool. I'm going to put in a name of Park Bench. For my block name, I'm going to select the insertion point. In this case, I'm going to pick the back, middle. It could be any point that you want as long as it makes sense to you. And then I'm going to select my objects and choose OK. Notice that I have delete here, so it's going to delete the geometry from my drawing. If I wanted now to insert it, it's in my block table. I can come back in here and I can insert it wherever I want it to be. But at this point, it's just a static block that doesn't change in size. So if I want to make it into a dynamic block, this is where we're going to add those authoring elements that actually make it dynamic. To do so, you could either double click on the block here, or you can go to the Block Definition panel and choose the Block Editor tool here, and then choose it from the list on the Edit Block Definition dialog box that comes up. And you'll see that we are transported into the Block Editor tool. You'll see that my origin now is on that back corner, or that back middle, so this is my insertion point. And at this point now I'm ready to add those authoring elements that will indeed make this thing dynamic. The first one that I want to add is a linear parameter. So it's just like a dimension, except it's going to give me the ability to change the length of this block. So I'll pick linear parameter. On the command line down here at the bottom, you'll see there are a few options. The ones that you want to choose is, the first one is description. Anytime you can add a description to a parameter, you want to do it. So I'm going to type D for description, and then give it a description like set the length of the bench. Just be kind of succinct, short and to the point. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a label. This is completely optional, but it does kind of help you to figure out, especially if you get a complex block with a lot of parameters, what did I want this parameter for, that type of thing. So L for length, I'm just going to say bench length here. I got to spell it right. Okay. And now what I can do is I can pick where I want this parameter to go. So I'll pick this corner here, and then I'll pick this corner here, and just like you would with a dimension, I'm going to put it down. So you'll see now what it does is it creates this parameter. It's got an arrowhead at this end and an arrowhead at this end. Those represent the grips that will be visible in the dynamic block. And I also have this yellow badge telling me that there's no action associated with the parameter at this time. Don't worry about that. We're going to come back in and add the action in a few minutes. But the first thing that I want to do is deal with this arrow. I only want an arrow on this side over here. I don't want an arrow on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that parameter, and using my Change Properties tool palette, notice it says linear parameter on my Properties tool palette. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom down here, and where it says number of grips, I'm going to change this value to 1. So it gets rid of the grip on the left, it keeps the grip on the right, so my stretch action will only happen from that right side. Once I do that, now what I can do is I can add my stretch action. So I'm going to change to the Actions tab on my tool palette here, and I'm going to use this stretch action. So I'll choose stretch. The first thing that it asks me to do is to select the parameter that's going to be that's going to be dependent upon this action, or the action is going to be dependent upon. So I'll choose the bench length. And then it asks me to specify a point to associate with the action. As I move my mouse back and forth, you'll see that there's this red X. See this red X that shows up either on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. See it over here, okay? I want to associate my action with this grip over here, so all I have to do is just move closer to this side. As soon as the red X shows up with that parameter or with that grip, I can click, and now I'm ready to go to the next step. Now you'll notice on the command line it says specify the first corner of the stretch frame. Think about how the stretch command works in AutoCAD. If you stretch something, what you need to do is create a crossing window that captures the end that you want to stretch, but does not capture the other end that you want to be stationary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a window that would represent that crossing window. What this does is this window right here is going to say I want to stretch everything inside of this window, but the things over here are not going to be selected. After I make the stretch frame on the command line, it says select objects. And what you should probably do here is just do that again, just make that same exact stretch window, capturing these objects. And what you're doing is you're saying I want to stretch all of this, all of these things are going to be stretched, but all of the endpoints over here that I didn't pick are going to be stationary. So at this point I can press enter, and now the yellow badge is gone because I've associated an action with this parameter, and I get a little icon here that tells me that there's a stretch action. So if I come in here now to test block, notice that if I pick the object, I get my grip. If I hover over the grip, I get a description telling me what it does. And if I click, I can now change the length of my bench to whatever is the length that I want. However, I'm going to close my test block. If I want a specific number of dimensions, like let's say I want this to vary from 48 inches to 66 inches in 6-inch increments, I can add that in. And you add that in by using a set of information in your parameter. So I go back to my linear parameter. I've selected this linear parameter, and I'm in the properties dialog box. Down here on value set, what I want to do is I want to change my distance type from none, in this case, to increment. And I want my distance increment to be 6 inches. My minimum distance will be 48 inches, and my maximum distance in this case will be 66 inches. 66 inches. And then just hit enter. And you'll notice that if I close this, what I get now is I get these little marks. So here's 48, 54, 60, and 66. So it's going to allow this only to stretch to those 4 different sizes. If I close the block editor, save the changes, now if I come in here and I pick it, I get that same action, but when I click my stretch tool here, it's only going to allow it to stretch to those different sizes. You can set those to whatever you want, but for this, I just chose those 4. So that's how you can create a dynamic block with a stretch action.